So a question to all you guys. Since the last time I done a video for this channel, Joshua Thompson Rants, have you started reading more between the lines like I told you that you should? Have you started understanding that almost everyone has an agenda? Almost everyone is going to lie to you? It's just the reality of the world. There's very few people who don't have something that they're trying to get over on other people because it's a very competitive world. Everyone's trying to get the very limited their supply of very limited amount of dollars there are around the world. Most people have to suffer. And if you want to have a life that is fulfilled with tons of money and happiness, but it doesn't really come with money, but you get the idea. You have to take other people's things. Now, hopefully you're not doing that coercively, but you're just persuading people to give you their money willingly. But they're all lying. They all have an agenda. You're almost assuredly being lied to by all the media. That includes Fox, that includes CNN, that includes everybody. I don't care who it is. Zero Hedge, Drudge, it doesn't matter. Whatever your news source is, you're getting lied to. It's your job to try to read between the lines and think for yourself. Now, how much of that you're doing, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are robots. I don't think they look for answers. I don't think they really care. They just want to survive from one moment to the other without ever really knowing the truth. They don't even want to know how it works. And when I try to tell people that the Federal Reserve doesn't print money, they attack me relentlessly. Last year, everybody said that this rally was going to go on forever because the Federal Reserve is just going to keep printing money, baby. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to come on here. I don't have an agenda. I don't have anything to sell you. I don't have a Patreon. I have nothing. I have YouTube ads on my other channel. So if you're interested in financial stuff, the stock market, all that, because I called what happened today in the stock market. I'll even put it on my Twitter September 6th that it was going to crash today. If you're interested in that, that channel is Joshua Thompson. Just take off Joshua Thompson. Take off the rants, Joshua Thompson. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. I have whiteboard videos in the past how I explain in detail. I go through balance sheets of commercial banks, the Fed, the whole 9 yards. And I explain to you how the Federal Reserve doesn't print money and how the system actually works. The things that people don't want to tell you. If they tell you and everyone knew how it worked, they would lose their power. They want you to believe that the Fed go burr and the price of gold is going to go to 5 million. They have something to sell you. They have something to sell you. There's a reason why some people are out here saying the stock market's going to crash. Buy gold to protect yourself. It won't protect you. It's not how it works. It's not how any of this works. And if you fall for them and their lies, then you know what? At the end of the day, that's on you. And so like I've said from the very beginning on this channel, there's going to be some things that I'm just going to tell you and I am not going to show you a source document. And the reason for that is because I want you to go look it up. I want you to read exactly what I'm telling you. I want you to understand it. And then it'll make you a better human being in the long run. So like, for example, I said a couple of weeks ago that Mount St. Helens erupted in the 80s and it melted, flash melted all the glaciers on top of it. Guess what has glaciers again? Well, some people actually went and looked that up and told me about it. So it's good for them. Now they know more. So I'm going to say some things, right? Like Twitter just approved Elon Musk to buy out Twitter. I think it was unanimously. It might not have been. It might have been an overwhelming vote, but it looks like he can now buy it if he wants to. I don't know if he will. They're still doing the litigation and stuff there. Switzerland, for example. In Switzerland, it's either on the verge of being voted on or it already is a law now to where if you turn your thermostat above 60 degrees, I believe, because they put it in Celsius. So just from my quick memory of Celsius to Fahrenheit, I believe if you turn your thermostat above 60 degrees, your neighbor can rat you out and the police will come arrest you and fine you and imprison you for up to 3 years. Imagine that. That's happening around the world right now as we speak. Also, it's rained so much in Death Valley and the areas around Death Valley, there was literal waterfalls in Death Valley. Imagine that. But again, we're told that if we don't do a certain thing, the whole world's going to melt. Probably by next year, right? I remember in 2008, they said, oh, it's 2013, 2014, 2000. They always just keep pushing it a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. So for of those of you out there that are so inclined to find out the truth, look up ClimateGate. Look up ClimateGate. And look how they had discussions on how they erased the warming from the 30s because it was the warmest time on recorded history. Go look up forest fires in California and find out why whenever you see these climate disaster things they put out about the forest fires in California, if you ever wondered why they always start in like 1930 and go to present, go look at the past history. Go look up the 1800s. Look how bad it used to be and how much better we've made it. Look that up. Here, I'll even throw you one. I'll throw you this one. I'm sure you guys have probably all seen articles like this. They probably get thrown at you on a daily basis. Researchers warn of melting Antarctic ice sheet. Sydney, Australia, and other scientists are warning that runaway climate change could melt the East Antarctic ice sheet, causing sea levels to rise up to 5 meters. Oh no, that's a lot. That's a lot. Well, remember in one of the last podcasts I did on here, I told you guys that ice doesn't melt that quickly if there's a whole bunch of it. Remember the analogy I gave is if you picked up the entire ice sheet from Greenland and moved it to the Sahara Desert, it would take 10,000 years for that ice to melt. And that's not accounting for all the other after effects that would happen from bringing all that water to a desert. Now let's take a place that barely ever gets above freezing, but when it does, it's for a short period of time. So let's think about ice that melts in a place that's 34 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes a lot longer to melt there than it does in, say, 92. Okay? So take that into consideration first. Then take into consideration how much would actually have to melt for the sea level to rise all over the world by 5 meters, right? Do the numbers, do the calculations. It's a lot of damn ice. A lot. And it can't be ice that's already in the ocean, because if it's already in the ocean, if it melts, it ain't going to change anything. It's already in the water. So it has to be only ice that's on the land. And are they even taking into account that when wintertime comes around and there's virtually no sunlight all day for 6 months, it freezes again? Take all that into consideration and then see this next article. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Do you think that might explain just a little bit? Yeah, it does. It explains almost everything. When you take it into consideration, your answer is right there. It's right there in your face. They are taking things like this that's happening down there saying the world's going to end. They go to Greenland and find calving, where basically there's so much ice in Greenland that the center of it, the weight is pushing down, and the ice has nowhere to go but out. So it gets to the edge of the island, and it falls off. Everything's melting, we're all gonna die. No, that's just a natural force of gravity. But again, most people don't know this. Most people have never heard this. So I am just trying to bring some information to you guys on a semi-daily basis. I'm not going to post a video here every day, but I want to challenge you, and I want to challenge your beliefs. And I want you to actually think. I want you to know, right, what the Atlantic Oscillation Current. I want you to know what that does and how that cycle affects temperature in the ocean. Anyway, until next time, I love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video.